Good evening. Glad to have I have to get one of these principals to whistle or something. But I appreciate all of you being here for our regular board meeting for October. And at the beginning of our meetings, we like to start with a moment of silence and would ask you to join us, please. Thank you. And for the pledge, we have a lot of Westminster Elementary students here with us today. Ms. McAllister, you were going to introduce our student that's going to lead us in the pledge, and
yes, I will.
Let them stand right here in the front. And as she introduces you guys, look at the camera in the back, because y'all will be on film, and the whole meeting is recorded, so you can go on the school district's website and see it later. Not tonight, but probably tomorrow. So.
This is Connor Watson and Aiden Poole.
Well, Connor and Aiden, if you will face the flag and lead us in the pledge, if y'all will join us. Go ahead.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Connor and Aiden. And Ms. McAllister, go ahead. You're going to go first.
Good evening. Don't be alarmed. We're great in number, but we're not going to take a whole lot of your time. We're going to be quick, but I think you're going to be impressed. At Westminster Elementary, we care about the whole child. It is our goal to make something positive, if we can, out of everything, and make positive surroundings for all of our students. And we brought some of the cutest ones you've ever seen to show you this kind of thing. Tonight, the first thing that we'd like to start with is to let you know just a little bit about something that we've just started. We've just started something called All Pro Dads, and this is something that we're very proud of. This is our first go-round with it, and I want you all to know that our first time we had 60-something parents attend, and, well, dads, and we had 2 grandmas. And we were so excited, and we told the students, if you don't have a dad available, bring somebody else in your household. Bring your neighbor, whoever you want to bring. And they were so good. They were telling wonderful things about the students. And our focus that day was respect. And the coach, Coach Nick from the middle school, Mr. Brandon, Mr. Blackwell, Dr. Blackwell, let us borrow that coach for the morning. And he spoke with our dads and got them excited a little bit about middle school, too. So that turned out great. But none of this would have been possible without a young man named Matt Campbell. And I would like very much for you to meet him tonight. Mr. Campbell, would you come up here, please? And we would like to give him a certificate of appreciation for helping us start this program. This is something that we're going to have every week. Every month. And
Like the students. We like to be on film.
that's right. Thank you. He's given us much of his time, and we've emailed and talked on the phone countless times. We had to reschedule the first time because of Irma. But it was a great turnout, and we hope it's the same every month. And the second thing we'd like to share with you tonight is our mentor program that we've just started. We so far have 5 mentors signed up, and I'd like to mention that the first one that we had to sign up was Dr. Thorsland, and we're so appreciative of that. And what is through the Frazee Center, but we thought it would be easier if I did the training myself instead of asking the folks that gave us their time to go to a church to be, or to another facility to be trained. So we're doing the training ourselves at Westminster Elementary, and we're also helping the folks do the application online. And there's a big, huge background check that has to be done, and when they apply, they have to be accepted by that program. And there's specific guidelines. And what these people do is that we match them with a student, and they give 30 minutes every week to that student for one entire year. And so often, some people like to go up to the next grade level with that student. We don't require that. We just require them to come. We don't ask them to buy them anything or do anything out of the way except just be their friend and talk to them and show them that they are special. Now, if any of you would like to sign up for this, I'll be glad to train you whenever it's convenient for you. So we're enlisting everybody that we can all along the way. Now, I've asked Ms. Lau to speak with you about a couple things.
I'm Paige Lau, the assistant principal at Westminster Elementary, and we're also looking forward to partnering with Clemson Hope. They just got in contact with us, and y'all are probably familiar with their partnership with James and Brown last year, but we are looking forward to meeting with them tomorrow to talk about their mentoring program and how they can partner with us to benefit our students. Grace's Closet also recently expanded to West-El. We wanted to let you know that a teacher recently shared that one of her students went to shop in the closet and came back, and her demeanor had immediately changed for the positive, and we are so thankful to have that at West-El.
Now, we have some 5th grade students here who've taken on a challenge, and I have Miss Rankin, a 5th grade teacher. She's into science, and she's going to help these students, and they're going to make something from nothing.
All right.
Well, our 2 5th graders have come to share with you about our school garden project that we're starting. And as you can see from the monitors, it's in need of some TLC, but that's our goal for this school year. And so I've asked them to share a little bit with you about what our goal is as 5th grade students, and how we can make our school garden a success, and hopefully have some crops come about in January or February. So if you guys want to tell them a little bit about our program.
Here you see a picture of some overgrown raised beds. Well, our 5th grade class is hoping to change this. This year in science class, we will be researching how to prepare soil for planting what plants grow in our area at this time of year. We will also learn about how to plant them and give them what they need. Hopefully, we will be able to harvest our crops in January or February.
By planting our garden, we hope to learn a whole lot. We will be doing research, data collecting, planting and harvesting, learning more about our soil and the history of the agriculture in our area. We will also be learning about the war gardens that were planted during World War I at about the same time we harvested crops. So it will be a neat experience for our school gardens.
Speaking of crops, we are thinking that broccoli or collard greens might grow good here, so that is where we will start with our research. The average price of collards is roughly $3 per pound. We are hoping that we will be able to raise our own crop for way less than that.
With our school garden, we are hoping to learn a whole lot about growing our own food. And who knows, maybe this project will inspire some of our students to become future farmers. Hopefully, if it all goes well, in January, we'll be able to share a tasty bowl of collards or broccoli with you all.
That'd be good.
They've taken on a big job because I didn't have time to do anything with it this summer, so it's a mess. But they're going to be able to handle it and do well with it. And we did learn, I've been talking to Dr. Blackwell, and they're improving and growing their agriculture department. So we're hoping that we can tie this in and we can work together to do some things over there as well. We're hoping that'll be a good connection for us. And the last thing we'd like to share with you tonight is something really special. We've started a little bit of something new in kindergarten because we want our Westminster Elementary kids to be the smartest in the world. So we're starting young now. So I'm going to ask the 3 kindergarten teachers that I brought with me tonight, Miss Durham, Miss Mize, and Miss Presley. They're going to share just a little bit with you, and you're going to be shocked, I believe, at what these students know. So go for it.
Jack and Jilly is our new program that we're using at our school this year, and it was written by Dr. Cindy Cupp. It is a complete language arts program designed to teach learners of all ages through phonics and kinesthetic movements. It has 4 components. One component is the comprehension and reading fluency. Another is pop and pop sight words. One is 10-minute phonics, and then the last section of it is an independent center activity. They usually work on the iPads, on ABC Mouse, or some other language arts program. We would like to get started with a little piece of what we start our day out with every day is our Alpha Motion song, and so they're going to do a little bit of that for you, and then we're going to show you some other things that they have learned already. You guys want to turn and look at these guys sitting back here? They want to see your song.
That's fine.
The first thing we're going to do is sing our Alpha Motion song. Alpha Motion puts a kinesthetic movement with the sound to help them remember it better. And we're just going to do just a little snippet of it for you. Are you ready?
Track 3, the Alpha Motion song.
Alpha motion, yeah, yeah. Alpha motion, yeah, yeah. Come join in and clap with me as we learn the letters from A to Z. Letter name, A, A. Short A, A. Letter name, B, B. Bouncing ball, B, B. Letter name, C, C. Can over, G, G. Letter name, D, D. Dizzy duck, D. Letter name, E, E. Short E, E, E. Letter name, F, F. Fizzing fire, Letter name, G, G. Gargling, G, G. These are the letters of the alphabet. No, we are not finished yet. Come join in and clap with me as we learn the letters from A to Z.
And to go along with the kinesthetic movement, not only do we have movements that go with letters, but we also have movements and pictures that help them with their high frequency words and sight words as well. So this is what we call our hop and pop. So I'm going to let these guys help me with my poem for our words on the chart. Guys ready? Sounds like drum, but the word is come. Sounds like tree, but the word is seed. Sounds like bump, but the word is jump. Sounds like bee, but the word is heat. Sounds like snow, but the word is go. Sounds like hand, but the word is and. And then another section that Ms. Durham mentioned was our 10-minute phonics lesson. Dr. Cupp believes that the children should be fast and fluent with their letter sounds and rhymes, and that helps them to be able to blend words easier and more quickly and effectively when they begin to sound out words up and do this for me? And we practice this daily, not just with the charts, but also with flashcards and lots of fun games. We've learned lots of things this year. Okay, so you ready? Quickly as you can. At, and, at, and that helps with the blending. Let's try some blending. Nap, nap. At, pat. At, map. And, red. And, at, cap. At, map.
Very good.
And we want to thank Ms. McAllister for helping us get this program. We've been amazed at the progress that we've seen so far this year. Completely amazed.
Along
That
with
is
learning the hop and pop words, we put them in sentences, so Nora would like to read you a sentence this
Jack, orange, jelly, can, play.
There you go.
Thank you.
Well, aren't they cute? This is your
Yeah.
future of tomorrow. Right here, and they're great. Let's give them another hand. We feel like this program that they're working on will prepare us, and we're working guided reading along with it, and it's just a little extra something that we wanted to add to get us more ready for everything we've got to do. We want to be so ready for first grade, it's not even going to be funny.
They sound like they're just about ready.
They are doing a great, they didn't memorize that. What you heard was not memory. They do it different. They do it up and down, backwards and forwards, so they do a great job with all that kind of stuff. I think some of them need to go home. I hope that's okay. They're little still.
fine.
So thank you, parents, for bringing your children to us. We appreciate it so much, and we'll see you in the morning. Now, I'm going to see if Dr. Blackwell can make his cuter than that.
Yeah. Dr. Blackwell?
I wasn't sure if I still had any time.
Oh, hush.
30 seconds. She actually spoke a little bit about what I wanted to talk about tonight. One of the things that we wanted to do was beef up some of our course offerings, and one of the first things that we wanted to do was add an ag program to our school. We were fortunate enough to do that for this year. We brought Miss Nina Ambrose from Tennessee, and she is starting a program from scratch, so she's had a lot of work to do, but I have to brag on her because she really hit the ground running. In fact, tomorrow we're going to the state fair and we're signing our FFA charter tomorrow, so we're very proud of that and the work that she's already been doing. At this time, I'm going to ask her to come up and speak to you a little bit about some of the things that she's doing and the things that are going to help our vision, because our vision of this program is not just to offer things for our kids, but to strengthen the West Oak area agricultural program.
Great.
Well, first off, I'd like to say thank you for having me tonight. It's a pleasure to be up here speaking to you guys about the program. Like Dr. Blackwell said, I am really excited to be here and starting a new program. I am lastly from Tennessee, but I did spend some time at Clemson, so I'm familiar with the area. My parents have a farm in Westminster, so it is coming home to some degree for me. The program, I think, is going to be an amazing program for the area and for West Oak Middle. We have a great deal of interest that I've seen already. We have started a chapter which will be official tomorrow, but I have, 20 members already, and we really haven't done much yet, but just kind of excite the students about possibilities of what we're going to be doing. Some of the things that we're planning for this year at least, I've got students that are interested in competitions. We will be competing in the spring in the wildlife CDE, which they have to be able to identify pelts and coats and tracks from all the wildlife native to South Carolina, as well as some of the habitat management stuff. So there's a lot that goes into that competition. I'm hoping that we'll still be able to take a forestry team in the spring as well, where they have to identify the different trees, and then also be able to do calculations of how much lumber will come out of a stand, and a lot of things that are going to go into that the kids are going to have to spend a lot of time outside of the classroom doing and studying as well, which is exciting for me. We are hopefully going to see us in the Westminster Christmas Parade. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get in there for the Apple Festival. That kind of snuck up on me. But, you know, hopefully we'll be out in the community seeing the kids do stuff, working with the high school a lot, hopefully. And I'm excited about, you know, the gardens that are going in at the elementary school. It's going to be a really neat kind of progression to see it go all the way through the county or through the school system. And that's one of the big goals that I think is for me, is to make sure that we are serving the community and serving the students. And we have such a great deal of agriculture in the community that I think being able to show the kids how important agriculture is going to be something that's going to be evident to them and from the program. Let me think of anything else. Dr. Blackwell.
He's back here.
Just wondering what else. Livestock showing, I know that was a big thing for the students in the area, and I've done some of that. I enjoy doing that. Hopefully we'll be able to use some of the facilities at the high school to be able to get some more kids interested. I know I have some in my classes already that are showing livestock, but definitely bringing them into showing more, and then hopefully taking some next year to the state fair. That is an amazing trip, and it's an amazing experience to watch those kids come from never showing an animal to like standing in a ring, talking to a judge, and being able to explain exactly what they've done with their animal to get to where they are. I think the FFA has an excellent program of being able to do that and shape leaders, and that's my goal for the program, is to be able to have these kids come in, whether they're going into agriculture when they graduate or not, to be able to get those leadership skills and get those things that are going to be so important to them throughout their lives. So I think that's it for me, unless there's any questions.
Sounds great.
And as you've heard from Ms. Ambrose, we have a lot of things planned, and she's doing a phenomenal job getting us started in the right direction with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Both of you, all of you being with us. Thank you. We look forward to following that.
I was gonna say, we look forward to getting some pilots.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we'll go some cornbread too.
Okay.
Answers your question.
All right. Okay, and Dr. Thorland, next is celebrating successes.
I just
You
want
have-
to quickly report on a few things here that have happened since we met in September. We have had a Golden Apple Award winner from Seneca Middle School, Ms. Lippum, who is an 8th grade ELA teacher, won that Channel 4 Golden Apple, so we're excited about that. Also on October 3rd, just a couple of weeks ago tomorrow, we had the All-County Chorus concert for middle and high school students. That was at Seneca Baptist Church, and they've had a guest conductor. He came for the 2nd straight year. It's a Dr. Bernaducci from Clemson, and he is really good, but he did a great job showcasing the talent of our singers in the county. And for the first time this year, that was kind of a juried performance. So the students had to try out in order to make the all-county choral group, and it was really a fantastic concert. Late September, we had Farm Oconee. We just heard from West Oak Middle about the agriculture program, and the Farm Oconee event is put on by the Oconee County Young Farmers, who they're a group that's kind of loosely connected to our high school ag programs, but that gives an opportunity for our ag students to perform. Mr. Inhabitant and I went to that event, and that's right, Ms. McCormick was there too. That was a very nice event and a good opportunity for our students to show off. Sports are wide open right now. We've got some seeing some success, volleyball, cross-country, some of our football teams doing well, so girls golf, and girls tennis. So we've got a lot going on athletically that our students are excelling in. And then finally, here at the office, the last few weeks, we've been starting our fall advisory committee meetings. We met on September 27th with parent advisory and our support employees. And then just last week, we met with the bus drivers and students. So we're trying to get out to our advisory groups and talk to them and just get feedback. And so things are going well. A lot to celebrate over the last month or so.
Thank you. All right, moving on then, if we get a motion to approve the minutes, the agenda, I'm sorry, for the regular board meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the agenda for the regular board meeting of October 16th, 2017.
Second.
Motion and second. Anybody see anything that needs addressing? Then all in favor, it's unanimous. Next is public comment, and you said no one signed up. Okay. Then we'll go back to Dr. Thorson.
Okay. And Mr. Ruquette came up one day, I guess it was last week, and we were talking a little bit about the grade book, and he wanted to see the Easy Grader, and it was good timing that he sent that email requesting that, because Anna Shiver had just been at the principals meeting and demonstrated the Easy Grader to our principals in a project that she was actually doing in her class. It's not something that was made up just to show off this function, but something she was really utilizing just in the, I guess, the last few days prior to that. And we've asked her to come tonight to share with you, and this is Canvas. We mentioned that we had gone to the Canvas gradebook, and that there is some functionality that Canvas has that PowerSchool does not, and this is kind of one of those things that Ms. Shiver's going to share with you tonight. Again, she shared it with the principals last week, but it's pretty neat. Makes a teacher's life, I would argue, a little bit easier. They have to plan a little bit more on the front side, but once you do that planning, the back side is much easier. So I'll let her take it from here.
As Anna's getting signed in, I just wanted to add that for the past couple of years, as we've been introducing Canvas, we're in year 3 now. And so we started at the principal meetings, and that's where we would share different things that they could use either with their faculties or that teachers could use with their students. And so now we're finally getting down to where our teachers, or all of our students, are using it with their teachers. And so instead of me standing up and showing them things, we're to the point where I've asked the principals to start coming in and showcasing things that they're doing with their faculties, or bringing in teachers so that they can see how it can be used in their buildings.
So yes, I am Anna Shiver. I'm a 4th grade teacher at Blue Ridge Elementary. And specifically what I was showcasing with the principals on Wednesday was the ability to use a rubric within Canvas for easy grading. I teach STEM in 4th grade. I teach every 4th grader STEM. We've broken it apart into 7-week rotations, each one of us taking a standard, and so that inquiry standard that's left in 4th grade is kind of where we've taken STEM in that direction. And so I have created a multitude of assignments that you can kind of see on your screen, but one that I wanted to highlight was the Sphero track encoding. Spheros, if you do not know, are these little round robots that we have at Blue Ridge, and the students have the ability to code them and make them do different things. They created a track for their Sphero to go on, and then they had a couple of requirements that were expected for them to keep while doing it. And so the beauty of the rubric within Canvas is I can grade it while they're presenting it. And so they presented them Friday of last week after I had created the rubric and shared it with them. And I actually created a second one so I could show you what was happening and break it down piece by piece. But I'll delete it afterward. It just was easier than having all the grades in and all that kind of stuff. So what you see on your screen is my assignment that I created. Initially, I just put in the title and then I clicked edit. When you edit the assignment, you get this big text box, which outside of putting directions in is really what it's used for at that point. And as I scroll down, I can allot points to it. I can make the assignment major or minor because those are our categories that we're working with on report cards. I can also make it where there's a no submission, which is what this assignment was. They had it on paper in front of me, and they weren't going to submit the coding robot online. That wasn't going to be able to happen, so it was a no submission. But I also have the ability to make it online, where I can give a test online. I can also make it where I have the paper that I'm going to send home with the parent and let them see the graded test or whatnot. And then I have an external tool, which could be like Quizlet or another website or piece of technology that I can import into Canvas for them to use in a one-stop shop. And so then I can scroll down, and this was a group assignment. Not every assignment is a group assignment, but within STEM, you have that whole teamwork component of it, where we want our students to be able to work with teams and work with each other to communicate and problem solve. And so this was a group assignment, so I checked that box, and then I ended up creating group sets. Okay? Outside of that, the other things are kind of just already clicked, like it's supposed to sync to Power Teacher because that's where we're inputting our grades for the state. And then I assigned it to everyone. The cool thing about this assignment is, well, not this particular assignment, but the cool thing about Canvas is if I have like IEPs or 504s or anything like that, I can give extended time to meet the accommodations that I'm trying to meet there for certain students, or give like a test read aloud or something like that. So that box is for those accommodations. So if I wanted to extend an assignment for those students, I could. So I press save, okay? And then I have to go in and I have to create my group because this is a group assignment. I have to go in and create groups. So that happens under people. And when I come under people, I can see everyone in the course. In addition to, I have two groups up here at the top, Sphero and then Structure and Function. When I click Sphero, I already have some groups created here, and what I'm going to do is make an additional group just to demonstrate what was happening. And this would be, I named them my students because it was easier to grade if I could just see my students' names listed at the top rather than Group 1, Group 2, or Group A, B, whatever. And so I'm creating this group. I can limit the number of group members if I wanted to, like if I was having groups create their own groups, like collaboratively based on an interest or based on a skill, those kinds of things. But that wasn't necessary because I'd already grouped them up and we were full into it. So we're going to save that. And then all I have to do is click this plus sign and I can drop them into Zanaya and Carly. Zanaya and Carly, and then Hunter and Zanaya and Carly. I actually got a new student last Friday, and so that's why she's kind of left off to the side. Anyway, because that's just how this all goes. And so then I go back into my assignment, because my groups are all made. I click my Sphero track and coding assignment, because that's what I'm getting ready to grade. My students are ready to present, and I'm ready to assess. And I want to make it easy. I want it to be simple, clear expectations that provide feedback for me to guide my instruction and feedback for them on how they performed and did they meet the expectations that were presented to them. So I can see my rubric that I've already created here. It's out of 100 points. They're graded on their track expectations. How well did they design their track? The appearance of it, because we want quality work out of our students. Teamwork, did they work well with others? Did they communicate, share responsibilities, those kinds of things? Their use of the Sphero, did they use the Sphero appropriately and try to get it to do what it was supposed to do, complete the track, those things. The track design, did it match the design that they had when they actually created it? And then the reflection piece, because reflection is something that I feel like we just sometimes skip over, but there's a lot that we can learn as to what went well and what did not, that kind of thing, and taking that piece and kind of going with it. So I can scroll up here and I can click on Speed Grader. Obviously I wouldn't do all of that when I'm trying to just grade them, but I would click on Speed Grader, and here at the top I can see my groups, so Caleb and Chance, okay? And if I want to, I could just type in a grade, but I'm gonna use my rubric because it's gonna make my life easier as a teacher and provide specific feedback for my students. And I'm gonna make it grow so we can all read it, okay? And for Caleb and Chance, I had them stand up in front of the class. They talked about that reflection piece, what went well, what didn't. They even drove it for us so that we could see it, and that kind of thing. And so I ended up, I would come over and say, all right, their track was 4 inches wide. I can see that, and it's present, and so I can click it, and they automatically get 10 points dropped over in the point column. Okay, and then their appearance, it was somewhat appropriate. It could have been a little meaner. They were being not so diligent in that area, so they get 5 points. Okay, and then teamwork. They worked hard. They shared the responsibilities. They did their job. The use of the Spiro, and as you see, there's points being dropped over in the side, right? And then if I kept going, I would click the points based on what was said, how it went, assessing my students, those kinds of things, right? And then I scroll down here at the very bottom, and I can provide specific comments on things that went well and things that could have been better to help to make their next project even better. And so providing that specific feedback not only enables them for the next STEM project to know what's an area that I need to work on as a student, but it also gives me an area. And if I'm seeing a constant area, like the teamwork thing is really just not going well, then I know I need to teach some things to help them learn better about how to communicate with one another, share the responsibilities, and those kinds of things. And then I can just submit it and then keep going. And my next group of people pop up, my next group of people, I just hit my next arrow, and there's my other children. And I'm ready to go through their project while they're presenting. And bam, by the end of the presentations, I'm done. Use it to guide my instructions, keep going forward, but like the grade book, done, check. My life's good. I'm not taking anything home. My grades are in the grade book. I mean, in thinking of teacher perspective of it, that kind of thing. And the students have immediate feedback. The parents, if they've signed up for Canvas, have immediate feedback on what's happening in the classroom. And those are all important things to everyone involved, right? And it's been a benefit for me, specifically with STEM, which last year was a hard thing to grade, keeping track of all my rubrics, getting that information back quickly, those kinds of things. So I'm a big fan in terms of the speed grader and the use of the rubric. Implications and applications for in the classroom. I mean, we could eventually move over in this direction for our FCAs and John Collins in our writing program, and then social studies projects and those kinds of things can obviously be used. Ms. Crawford also pointed out, and I thought it was a great point, is that you can create generic ones and use them constantly. In any subject area, specifically when I think about like middle and high who are doing mostly the same subject or content, and they're doing like 100 of them, like that would be so easy to just be like, yeah, and move forward kind of thing. And so it's been a benefit for me as a teacher, and I think if we can continue to progress and tackle the newness of Canvas, that it'll be something that most people can get on board with, for sure.
Anna,
Yes.
Would that be available to a parent to see?
Yes.
I know in the past, they would just get a grade that would say 90 out of 100, but a parent could actually click in your Canvas and see the rubric so they can see where their child didn't do.
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes.
So that's another.
Within the assignment,
Right.
they can see the assignment and click on it and see all that information, which is again another benefit of the rubric, for sure. That parent communication point.
Great. Thank you very much,
Yes,
Anna.
you're welcome.
Thank you, Anna. And like she said, I do know, for example, like Seneca High's science department, they have created basically a lab rubric, and so they've shared that with every science teacher. So no matter what lab it is, they can use that same rubric. So the collaborative piece, once the teacher creates it, they have it in every course, and they can share it with others too. So thank you, Anna. And she's a rock star. So if y'all want to go see some really great stuff in action, the way that she is really personalizing and really using the tools that we're giving them, go visit Anna's classroom.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Appreciate you being here.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. See you. Next, we get a, motion to approve the minutes for the September 18 regular meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the September 18th, 2017 regular meeting.
Second. I'm sorry.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor? That's unanimous. And then action items, approval of 2018 board meeting dates. You have anything to add to that, Ms. Tamby?
No, sir, I think it,
Nothing
pretty much
changed.
matches up with what we had, and, other than the summer graduation location, we work on that, but, I think everything's pretty much in accordance with what we've been doing.
Okay. Can we get a motion then to approve the 2018 board meeting dates?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the 2018 board meeting dates as presented by the administration.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion, any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, it's unanimous. And then we have the approval of the 2017 School Board Association voting delegates. And we got 4 votes, so we can have 4 delegates and as many alternates to that. And the delegates are listed as Mr. Lee, Mr. Rucott, Mr. Herring, and Ms. McCormick, and I'm an alternate, and Mr. Lee is an alternate in case we need to swap off. So if we could get a motion to approve the voting delegates.
Mr. Chairman, I move the voting delegates for the 2017, School Board Association be approved.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor? That is unanimous. Then we have policy JH-R, student absences and excuses. This is first reading.
Correct, and, this policy, the only change, again, recommended by the School Board Association was on the second page at the bottom, district, talks about our district doing a proficiency-based course plan. We have done that for the past 4 or 5 years. Yeah, we started it, I think, in Miss England's last year, actually. So we continue to do that, and that was just added to the, policy, to make sure that is noted as acceptable. So, it just sort of eliminates the 120 seat requirement in some cases. You follow the rules of the plan.
Okay, we get a motion to approve policy JH-R, student absences and excuses.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we pass on first reading policy JH-R, student absences and excuses.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. Does anybody have any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor? That too is unanimous. And then we have policy KLGA, school resource officers, first reading.
Right, and we like this, again, from the recommendation from the School Board Association, we like this because it helps us better define the role and the responsibilities of a resource officer. Again, I referenced the incident at Spring Valley High School where they took the exception of that. And what a resource officer is supposed to be doing, they're not in there to do the discipline that the administrators are supposed to do, but they're in there for other reasons. And so it's very specific in here as to what their roles and responsibilities are. So we had talked about doing this ourselves. Actually, Ms. Hughes has been working on that, but this helped us not have to worry about that. So we ask that you approve that on first reading. We'll bring it back again next month for final.
Okay, policy KLGA, school resource officers, first reading. Do we have a motion to approve?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve on first reading policy KLGA, school resource officers.
Right.
Motion second. Any other question, discussion? And then all in favor? Is unanimous. And I guess we could have KLG, relations with law enforcement. We're going to rescind that. So,
Right, because the,
that
KLGA
takes
is gonna take the
care of
place
it.
and is much
Okay.
more, detailed and precise.
Okay, we just need a motion to rescind policy KLG.
Chairman, I move policy KLG, the motion of law enforcement authorities be rescinded.
A motion, have a second. All in favor? It's unanimous. And then Exhibit 7, policy GBEBDA.
Those are the same, you can even
And
do those
the-
together, 7 and 8, because it's very minor changes in
There, okay, and then policy IJOA field trips. These are both second reading.
Right,
Oh.
and these policies is really, changing criminal record and SLED to background, but we're not, this is inclusive of any type of background check that we'll need to do. So we will still do SLED, we'll still do criminal records check, we'll also do the national sex register offender check as well, but any needed check to make sure that we are doing a thorough background of anybody that we hire or anybody that we have that are on field trips, to make sure that they're safe and
Volunteers.
being around our children. So
Yeah.
it's just making sure that we're inclusive of what we're doing with the checks.
Okay, if we could get a motion then to approve GBEBDA and policy IJOA. Got a second reading.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve policy GBEBDA, criminal record check, second reading, and policy IJOA, field trip, second reading.
Have a motion, we have we got a second. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, then all in favor is unanimous. And that takes us through to executive session for personnel items, employment recommendations, and changes. If we could get a motion to go into executive session.
Chairman, I move we go into executive session for employment recommendations and changes.
Motion. Motion and a second, then. All in favor? And that's unanimous. Thank you.